Hello, and welcome everyone to our weekly series where we talk about everything metaphysical, energy, channeling, anything that has to do with energy. And this week's topic is, how can you tell if someone's lying? And let's start with Peyton tonight. How can you tell if somebody's lying?
Thanks, Corey. Well, this is such a fun topic. And it's actually one of those superpowers that you start to develop when you start doing energy work and intuitive work. And really, I think that this is an essential life skill for all of us these days. There is so much disinformation, misinformation out there, that being able to be in connection with your intuition and know when you are hearing something that may not be quite true is really something we all need to know how to do. So the way I look at it, some people are just very naturally gifted at knowing when people are lying. And if you are an empath or a sensitive, you are probably naturally very good at doing this without any training whatsoever. This was actually one of the things that I remember most clearly about being an empathic child, was that I always knew when people were lying, or when somebody wasn't to be trusted, or when they weren't saying what they meant, or when they were playing games with me. It was just something that I could intuitively sense, even when I was super small. And so, if you are empathic or sensitive, this may be something that you already know how to do without having to have any training at all. But even if you don't think that this is something that you know how to do naturally, in my opinion, anyone can get better at telling when people are lying. And the way to do that is really by getting in touch with your intuition and just listening to the feedback you get from your body as you are going about your daily life, talking to people, hanging out with people, even if it's things that you're hearing or seeing on TV or on social media. If you start to pay closer attention to your intuition, your body will actually give you feedback as to whether what you're listening to is true, or at least if it's true for you. And of course, as the guides always tell us, there is no one truth. Everything is perspective for the most part, but knowing when something isn't in your best interest or isn't your truth is really important these days. And so the guides keep talking to us about the importance of discernment. And we've done some earlier videos where we talk about how important it is to develop that discernment muscle. And part of that is learning how to listen to your intuition and your body 24/7, because your body is connected with your intuition, and your intuition will give you 24/7 feedback as to whether what you are hearing or seeing is in line with your truth. And so just by learning how to develop your intuition and pay attention to how does your body react when you're around certain people. Maybe it's somebody that you're working with that you've always kind of gotten a weird vibe from, or maybe it's someone you know really well and you're just talking with them one day and all of a sudden you're like, something doesn't feel right here. These can all be signs that your intuition is giving you that what you're being presented with may not be 100% true, or at least not in alignment with your truth. So, one of the most important things you can do is listen to your body and see how it reacts to people and to any information that you're hearing. And as the guides have been telling us in the past couple energy reports that we have done, which you can see our videos below, they've been telling us we need to be very careful with the information we're taking in, because there's so much information out there right now that is manipulated, distorted, being given to us to advance personal agendas. That knowing how to tune into your intuition and figure out if this is your truth or not is critical. It is so important for everyone to know how to do this right now. So the most important things that come to my mind for this are to listen to your body, trust what you get, even if it's someone you feel like you should trust. an authority figure, someone that, has a big platform, a big following. Listen to what your body says when you listen to that information, because your body will give you a thumbs up or a thumbs down as to whether this is your truth. And the second thing is practice as much as you can. Start to ask your intuition, is what I'm hearing true for me? Your body will respond, your intuition will respond. And I am pretty convinced that anyone can learn how to do this if they just have an interest in doing it. Because as we always say in energy work, the energy doesn't lie. People might, but the energy will tell you whether what you're hearing is true or not true. So that's how I look at it. It is definitely a skill that can be learned if it is not natural to you. And there really is no better time than right now to develop this if it's not part of your skill set. So, how about you, Yaila? How do you know when someone's lying?
There's actually a couple different ways. And I love what you said, Peyton, as far as your body will never lie to you. Our mind can talk us in and out of whatever we want, but our body will always tell us the truth. And in my health coaching days, that's really how I would help people align with what foods and what things actually worked for them, because their body would show them or tell them. And so some key things that I notice when I have found that it's either a lie from someone as like an individual person or like collective or just generally speaking, I like to use the word crunchy, where your body kind of feels like, oh, like it kind of like crunches down, it tightens up, it feels very constricting. It feels, to me, I just use the word crunchy. Like it just kind of feels like when you crunch down something, it's like, oh, it doesn't feel right. It feels off. So for me, I use the word crunchy, tight, constricting. Sometimes I'll literally hear almost like my thoughts in my head, like, nope, like that's a no. Like go do this, nope. Like nope, you don't want to do that. Like I almost have this full body no go on. And I've actually been in situations too where I've been looking at the person, and sometimes we have different energies, frequencies that we are matching or we're tapping into, and it's not always our own core, our own truth. And so when you're interacting with someone who may not be operating from their core or their truth, you can kind of see it. And if you're fine-tuned to pay attention and you're perceptive to the world around you, I've actually looked at people and I can look at their eyes and I can see that's not the person that normally speaks to me. Like I can almost see like that's not truly them speaking to me. So it's almost like they're either wanting to say something that they think I want to hear. Like it's almost like a version of, it's like a copy of what they think either I want to hear or what's expected for them to say. Like it just doesn't feel like the real person right there. I don't know how else to describe it, but it's like I can look at the person's eyes and it's like that's not truly their truth saying it to me. So that's another way that I would describe knowing that it's a lie. But it really helps to determine if someone's being truthful with you or not when you're really in the practice of owning your own energy. And so all of us have different grounding meditations that we offer. And so as you get more familiar with what your energy feels like and the vibration of the world around you, if someone's saying something that's not in alignment for truth, like truth to capital T, there it's true no matter what, whether you want it to be true or they want it to be true. Like truth is just truth. There's no other energy connected to it. When you are so clear in your own energy and someone is giving you other energy added on to what their normal energy is, you'll feel that. And as you get into the practice of feeling your truth and just true, clear energy, if there's anything else added in, you'll either feel what I was describing, like a tightness, a crunchiness, like just off. You'll either see it, you might hear it, you'll feel it. Like you just literally, there's just this overall like, no, that's not true. And I've gotten to a place now where I kind of look at people if they feel the need that they need to share an untruth with me. I look more at why do they feel the need to say that? And so I get more curious about what that is versus them actually telling me a lie. And that's become more of a tell in my interaction with people, because when I look, I'm like, that doesn't feel right. Like, what is that about? And I'll kind of see like this underlying thing, whether it's They might feel guilty about something. They might feel ashamed about something. They may not want to give forth information. And so there's a lot of layers to why people don't always offer the full truth. But it just makes me more curious of like, okay, that doesn't feel like the full truth. Are they purposely trying to do that? Where is that there? And then you kind of start getting more information. And I just, depending on the situation, I, kind of handle it from there. But your body, like Peyton was saying, will basically tell you, nope, that is not true. What about you, Corey? What would you add to that?
Well, I feel like I'm going to be telling on myself. Yeah, I've been very blessed. I was born telepathic, so uh, when somebody isn't telling the truth, I can hear actually what the truth is. If they're lying to me, and I feel like I'm telling myself. But you know what? And I loved what you said too, Peyton, about being an empath. That, and I'm such an empath, and I could feel it as well. But with my upbringing, and a lot of it's generational. You know, um, when I would say, when somebody would not tell the truth, and I'd say, "Wait, but isn't it that?" Or, "No, no, 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 no." Or if I expressed what I was feeling, like, "Oh, no, 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 you're fine, you're fine. No, 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 Corey, that's fine. No, oh, that's just in your head." Blah 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 blah. So for a long time, I didn't trust what I was getting telepathically or empathically, and so I would go against what my intuition, my what my body was telling me. Yes, I feel it in my body, and actually what I was hearing, what the truth was. I would go against it because in my upbringing, I learned how to go against what my intuition and the telepathy was telling me. And if I made when I made that opposite decision, and then it would pan out, I would say, "Ah, I knew that. I knew that. I knew that I felt that." And what I felt was when somebody wasn't being honest with me, or there was a plan or whatever it was, I would have this actually like uh, this reaction of like, what? See, for me, it's not like, no. But for a long time, it's like, wait, what? Almost like I didn't hear them. And I know for me, that's my cue of, oh. And it wasn't until I got into doing the energy work, and got training where I realized my intuition and my telepathy was right on, right on. Though I did know my telepathy really was the kicker growing up, really. Because somebody could literally look at me and tell me a lie, and I just knew it was. Because I actually, the lie would come out of somebody's mouth, but I can hear what their thought of what the truth is. And but I just would never say anything. And I still to this day don't always tell somebody that I know that they're not being honest, because like you, Yaila, I'm like, "Ooh, I wonder why this is happening." So when I need to say something, I say, "I'm feeling something different," or "I'm feeling that there's more to this." But and that's why I feel like, "Oh, I'm telling myself I can hear what people are thinking." So it's and now I trust what I get. When I know that I get that, what? I know that's like, oh, or when I'm actually hearing what the truth is. And it may not be my truth. It just might be the truth of that other person and not being truthful with me or others. I can actually hear it. And I know, which is, I'm so grateful for the teachings and the education that now I could now I teach it, and I with my clients, that uh, I now know that when I am getting something, I do trust what I get, because I can trace it back to my childhood, like Peyton was saying, that I felt, and it is for me too, that kind of that tightening. But it's that, for me, it's that, what? Like, wait, what? And I know. And that's how my body tells me, other than the telepathy of me being able to hear people's what they're thinking. And it's a gift. And I've finally realized that it is a gift. So, and everybody has the gift. Everybody can develop it. I like what you said, Peyton, and Yaila, you can, it's practice. It's practice. It started actually, like one of my first teachers did talk to me about muscle testing it, standing up, and what is your yes? You lean forward or backwards, which means the opposite is your no, and actually asking that question. And sometimes in the beginning, when somebody was talking to me, and I was just standing there, and maybe they weren't telling me the truth, my body would lean, forwards or backwards, just that slight lean, and I go, but over time. So watch out there, anybody who, we always say you can't lie to a psychic, you can't lie to a clairvoyant or an energy worker. You just can't, because we do know. And all of us here have kind of had that growing up, but we also have practice that what we're getting is either a truth or a lie. And like Yaila said, when you know your own truth, you get to your own truth, and something that somebody says, even if it's like on a video or the television or anything, you notice the difference in the energy, the frequency according to you. So I love this topic. I do. I love this topic. So anything else, ladies?
Well, I was going to say, it's actually very entertaining as an empath or as an energy worker, because I feel like this work has given me a lot of compassion, where I was speaking of like, well, why would they say yes or no? And I have found that some people, they're almost lying to themselves many times, where they want to be this type of person. They want to come across this way. It's not coming from a malicious place, but it's not a truth yet. And so maybe it's just from my health coaching days, being an empath, now energy work. And so it's like, when I hear it's not fully their truth yet, it'll bring up, and I love how you said, like, what? It brings in that natural curiosity of like, so wait, why? What were you saying? Say that again. It brings up a natural curiosity in me when I am working with people, or even just talking to people, because it is that like, wait, say that again, because it didn't quite land how I know you're trying to intend, and I see and feel. So yeah, that's what I would add to it.
Yeah, I've always noticed that you can feel, it's almost like there's brakes being put on. It's like the energy stops flowing, and you can kind of feel that even if you're not super in tune with energy work, because it's like it's going along, like, it just stops. And you're like, you can actually feel that, where something has shifted in the energy flow of the conversation. And so it's something that is actually very physical. So paying attention to your body can really help you if you want to learn how to do this better. Is figuring out what signal your body gives you. And another thing that I always like to teach my clients is use your spirit guides, to have them teach you a yes and a no, and then ask them to start chiming in and showing you where things are not in alignment with your truth. and they can help you kind of get to know your body's reactions to know what is a yes and what is a no. So that's one of the things I always teach my clients is to get that yes, no, because then you'll start to, you have a kind of a benchmark for when you start to hear things that, you know, you're getting body feedback that it might not be 100%, you know, 100% the truth. So they can be a big help with that.
I love that, Peyton. You know, that like breaks. And you're right. It's like when it comes out, it doesn't just flow. It just is like, you're right.
Like a lead balloon.
A lead balloon, like dropping the bomb. That's the truth. Truth be told. Anything else, ladies? Nope. Well, thank you for joining us. We have so many other videos that you can watch, and we all have our individual YouTube videos. So please like, share, and subscribe. And that will be in the description below. And our social medias will be in the description below. And we'd love to hear your comments because we do this for you, just to share what we know so that your journey can go a little bit smoother. Like, is it a lie or is it the truth? So thank you very much for coming and joining us. And we hope that we get to see you next week when we do our next video. Thanks for watching.